After losing a child in an accident, she is completely focused on taking care of her other twin after moving to a new place, but a streak of strange events stops her from doing so. The movie opens with a family getting into a car accident, and their son Nathan dies in the accident. Rachel, Nathan's mother, seems to be struggling hard after the accident. To give themselves a change of environment, the couple, along with their other child, Elliot, who is Nathan's twin, decides to move to Finland. When they reach their new home, Anthony, her husband, says to Rachel that he has a good feeling about this and is hoping that this will be a good year for them. Rachel replies that she will be happy if Elliot is happy, but she is still paranoid about the accident, so when Elliot goes wandering around as they are talking, she starts to panic. She frantically looks for her son and finds him standing in front of a broken swing in the back of their house. She is relieved to see him there and scolds him from running away like that, as he should be aware of the new place. Elliot quickly apologized, and they came back into the house, where the moving company was shifting all of their stuff to their new home. They take a tour of their house, and Elliot chooses that attic room as his bedroom. When they come back down, they see Anthony talking to some people outside, but they leave before Rachel can reach them. Anthony tells her that those were people from the town who came to invite them to their welcome party, as they will be able to meet everyone at the party. That night, when Rachel is leaving after putting Elliot to bed, he stops her and asks if she loves him as much as he loved Nathan. Rachel assures him that she loves him just as much, but right now they just really miss Nathan. She then says that he can tell her anything and is shocked when he asks why they left Nathan on the ground. Rachel replies that Nathan will always be with them. Just then, she notices something in Elliot's hands, and when she takes a closer look, she finds that it is one of Nathan's toys. When she asks him about that, he tells her that he found it in Nathan's stuff. Rachel tells him to take care of the toy and goes downstairs to their bedroom. She tells Anthony about Elliot and says that he wants a bed for Nathan. Anthony tries to say that they shouldn't do that, but Rachel gets angry, saying that they can't just tell Elliot that his brother is dead and he shouldn't think about it. When Rachel goes to sleep, she has a nightmare and is jolted awake. Anthony also wakes up and asks her if she had the same dream, to which she tells him that it was the same dream she has been having since the accident. She explains that in the dream she is the only one who can hear the screams of a child from a coffin, and when she manages to open it, she sees Elliot in there, who is extremely pale. The next day, they bury some of Nathan's things, including the game Elliot has found in the ground, and put a cross there with his name on it. Later, Anthony takes them for a boat ride in the lake, and as they pass a mountain he explains that the red handprints were put there thousands of years ago, and it is believed that if you put your hand on one of them, and make a wish, it will come true. After listening to this, Elliot puts his hand on one of the prints and silently makes a wish. Back in their house, Rachel is doing laundry when she hears Elliot talking to someone in his room, but when she goes there, she is shocked to find that nobody is there except Elliot. She tries to ask him who he is talking to, but instead of replying to her, he just silently stands up and closes the door to his room. The day of their welcome party finally approaches, and when they go there, Anthony is immediately immersed in the conversation with local people. Rachel silently stands at the side observing everyone, when an old lady approaches her, introducing herself as Helen. She talks about how the locals don't want her talking to Rachel and asks her if they can go outside. Rachel is hesitant, but Helen manages to convince her, saying she means no harm. When they go out, Helen gives her condolences for Nathan's death and asks about them moving here. Rachel replies that she didn't want to stay in that house as everything reminds her of Nathan, and Anthony also wanted to come back here so he could start writing again. They talk for a while about Rachel's work when Helen suddenly says to her that she dreamed about her. Rachel is confused by her statement when Helen explains that she dreamed about Elliot as he made a wish that has been granted. Just then Anthony comes there looking for Rachel, and Helen quickly leaves after giving Rachel her card. Anthony takes her back, where everyone is gathered outside. Anthony tells her that locals want to celebrate their wedding, and for that, they will have to go on a ceremonial wedding swing. Rachel is not happy with this and tries to stop it, but Anthony insists that they go on the swing. She finally agrees when Elliot also encourages her to go on, but as soon as the swing starts to go higher she starts to panic. From there she notices Elliot running away somewhere, which increases her anxiety and she passes out on the swing. The locals help her calm down, and when they come back home, she warns Elliot to not ever run away like that. After putting him to bed, she goes back to her room where Anthony apologizes to her for not warning her that something like that could happen. She replies that she is angry because they left Elliot to complete strangers and asks him if he noticed Elliot's odd behavior ever since they came here. Anthony is confused by this, so Rachel tells him what Helen said, but he only tells her to not believe what Helen said and give Elliot time, as he is just trying to process a huge change. He says that they should stay calm in this situation, to help Elliot cope with the situation. In the coming days, Elliot's behavior starts to be more suspicious as he draws a painting of a burning house and the dead Nathan. When Rachel finds his drawing, she quickly throws it away, forbidding him to draw anything like that ever again. Rachel has another nightmare about Elliot, and when she goes to his room after walking up to make sure he is okay, Elliot claims that he is Nathan. The next morning, she tells Anthony about this and manages to convince him to help her in that situation. They try to take all of Nathan's things from Elliot, but he throws a big tantrum, stopping them from doing so. They decide to take Elliot, the town's doctor, who, after listening to the story, says that he can understand their situation, and Elliot is trying to grasp the situation after an accident in his own way. Rachel is not happy with the diagnosis, as she says she is sure there is something else to it. The doctor's reliance on Elliot is just mirroring their emotions, and they need to stay calm in that situation. He offers to book an appointment for them in the city, but Rachel refuses and leaves from there without listening to anything else. Rachel instead decides to visit Helen in search of answers. Helen tells her that this town is part of a satanic cult and that her husband was also possessed by an evil entity that led to his death. She shows Rachel some photographs of her dead husband, pointing at the shadowy figures that had suspiciously appeared in the picture. Rachel quickly leaves from there after listening to the story as Helen keeps saying that the satanic entity will come to take her son away. When Rachel visits her again, Helen assures her that they will not let Elliot end up like her husband. Rachel just needs to trust her. When Rachel comes back home, she takes some pictures of Elliot to see if he is also possessed by something. That night, she finds that Elliot has dug up Nathan's game from the ground. This angers her, and she burns it in the fire pit. Rachel has a deep conversation with Anthony that night as she tells him that she sometimes blames herself for Nathan's death because he was a difficult child, and she sometimes finds herself wishing that it would all end soon. Anthony assures her that it was not her fault and that she is the best mother their kids could have ever had. That night, Elliot called her in the middle of the night, saying that Nathan wanted to talk to her. He takes her to another room where they hold a seance of the sort but are interrupted by Anthony and locals who say that they want to use Elliot as a part of the ritual and will exchange him to get Nathan back. When Rachel wakes up the next day, she doesn't seem to remember the events of last night and goes to town with Anthony and Elliot. She secretly goes to get the pictures developed and quickly goes to the bathroom to check them when they come back home. She is shocked to find that Elliot is not in any of the pictures. She goes to Helen and shows her pictures, saying that she kind of believes in satanic power now. Helen tells her that the evil identity is trying to taunt her by saying that they already have her son and she can't do anything about it. Helen says that it is a kind of resurrection of the devil and convinces Rachel to take her to Elliot's room so that she can help save him. Rachel brings Helen to her home and takes her into Elliot's room, where he is playing with his toys. She is shocked after seeing that, and Helen says to Rachel that she is sick and leaves the room. Rachel follows her, but they both are surrounded by locals. Helen manages to flee, while Rachel is sedated and forced to be a part of a satanic ritual. When it is over, she is sedated again and wakes up in her room, where she hears Elliot calling her for help. She quickly gets up to help him but finds that she is locked in a room. She manages to break it down, and after finding Elliot in a room, she runs towards the forest. Anthony chases her into the forest, where she almost kills him but stops after seeing Elliot standing there. Anthony reveals that Elliot doesn't exist. He tells her that she was trying to leave Anthony and take Nathan with her when the accident happened that killed Nathan. Due to her extreme grief and anger, she created Elliot as a coping mechanism, and he didn't want to leave her in an asylum, so he let her stay in her delusions and moved her to find land so they could start over. Rachel sees Elliot running away from there, saying that Anthony is trying to kill him. Rachel follows him to a grain silo, where Anthony also follows him and tries to get Rachel back by killing the imaginary Elliot by submerging him in the grain. It doesn't go as he planned because Rachel accidentally kills him in an attempt to stop him. She then tries to dig Elliot out of the grain but finds nothing there. She goes back and sits there silently, looking at Anthony's dead body. After visiting the graves of Anthony and Nathan, Rachel goes back to her car where she sees Anthony in the car who says, "It is done," and he is free. He then turns back, talking to the children in the back of the car. Rachel also turns back, sees her twins sitting there, and drives away after asking them if they are ready to leave. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications to help the channel out. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.